City ready to proceed? All right, I hereby call this meeting to order. Good morning. My name is Kevin Wagner. I'm the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for today's hearing. I want to begin by explaining how this process is going to work. Generally, we hear the building cases first on the agenda, then the city will call the cases as they appear on the agenda. If you've appeared at today's hearing, which is true if you're here sitting here, the city will call your case before the other cases on the agenda. But that's only true if you've signed in, so if you haven't signed in, please make sure you check with an officer at the rear of the chamber and sign in. Once your case is called, I ask that you come down to the podium on my right-hand side, which is right over here. The city will put on its testimony and evidence first. You'll have an opportunity to review this evidence and ask questions of any of the city's witnesses. You will also then have the opportunity to testify and present me with your own evidence. Once I have all the testimony and evidence, I will make a ruling. You will receive a written copy of this order either at today's hearing or in the next few days through the mail. If you have any questions as we go through the process, please feel free to ask them. This is not meant as a formal courtroom. The formal rules of evidence do not apply here. However, despite the fact that this is not a formal courtroom, all testimony is taken under oath under penalty of perjury. So I'm going to ask if you were going to testify today, or you think you might testify, or there's a possibility that you might testify. Would you please stand, raise your right hand, and I will swear you in. Anyone that's going to testify, please rise. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury and the laws of the state of Florida?
Yes, sir.
Please be seated. The city can call their first case.
Case number 6, CE 240-62176, 933 43rd Street.
Good morning. Code Officer KT Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach.
Morning.
While riding through my zone, I observed several violations at 933 43rd Street. I took photos of the property which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I then initiated my investigation citing the following violations. Property was cited for 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view. That has been complied. 94-302-A-3 fence permit. That has since been complied. 94-71-C outdoor storage. That has been complied. 94-482-A driveway repair. 18106A clean and sanitary, and 18106K landscape maintenance, edging particularly. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on July the 10th of 2024. The affidavit of posting was completed on July the 10th of 2024, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on June the 24th. Certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on August the 20th and observed the property still in violation of 94-482A, 18-106A, and 18-106K. Reinspection photos were taken on August the 20th showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case. I have had contact with the property owner. The city is requesting, and also I got with the owner, and he is also in agreement with the 90 days to gain compliance or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, great, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate, other than requesting that the case file, the Code Enforcement Officer's testimony, and the photographs be admitted into the record as evidence without any objection, barring any objection, sorry.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Nathan Gray.
Did you say Nathan Gray?
Melton Gray.
Milton Gray. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And who do you have with you?
Hi, I'm his granddaughter, Taylor Thomas.
Mr. Gray, do you have any objection to the documents the city would like to put into evidence?
No.
All right. Without objection, I'll accept the evidentiary case file in this case, the city's composite exhibit 1. Mr. Gray, do you contest any of the citations here?
Do you contest any of the citations? No.
No, sir. I can't hear too good sometimes, so
No, that's okay. If you need me to repeat, just ask. The city wants to give you 90 days to come into compliance. Is that enough time?
yes, sir.
Okay. In case CE 24062-176, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of the listed code sections. Respondent has 90 days to bring the property into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue. I gave you the 90 days, sir. It's important that you stay in contact with the code officer to make sure that they know when you've come into compliance, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 1, CE 24052-058, case address 5144th Street.
Go ahead.
Good morning. San Middle School Compliance Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. Property 510 44th Street was cited on May 30, 2024. It was during my vehicle patrol, I came across the property. Service was accomplished by both regular and certified mail sent on May 30, 2024. Certified mail was signed for on June 5, 2024. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on August 9, 2024. I have been in contact with the property manager. The property was cited for 94-482-A parking requirements, which is repairing of the driveway, as well as 18-106-A clean and sanitary, 18-106-G painting/pressure cleaning of the property, the stain or dirt area, 22-32-A certificate of use, as well as 94-71-C outdoor storage, 22-44-1 which is for rental license, 32-102-A inoperable vehicle with an expired tag, and that's the only thing that has been complied. The vehicle was not at the property when I went there yesterday. 94-442-C-1 open area. There's still some area that needs sod. 74-34-A-1-H, that's trash can in public view. And as I said before, the only thing that was in compliance is the vehicle being removed as of this morning. Therefore, the city is asking for an additional 30 days for compliance and $200 per day if a compliance is not achieved.
Good morning. Were you able to make contact with the property owner or representative of
The property manager.
Okay, who's present with us
That's correct.
this morning? Okay, thank you. And were you able to speak with the property manager regarding the recommendation of the city, 30 days?
That's correct.
And are they in agreement with that?
Yes,
And do you believe the 30 days, given the list of violations, the 30 days is a reasonable time to comply?
it is.
And the photographs that we saw, did you take those photographs?
That's correct.
And do they accurately and truthfully depict the violations we're discussing today?
They do.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking that the testimony of the code enforcement officer, the case file, as well as the photographs be admitted into evidence as to the record.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Jonathan Lisnoff.
Jonathan.
Lisnoff, Lisnoff.
And Mr. Listoff, are you here on behalf of Flamingo Properties?
Yes, I am.
And what is your position with them, sir?
I'm the property manager on behalf of the owner.
Sir, do you have any objections to the documents and pictures that the city would like to put in evidence?
No, I do not.
Without objection, I'll accept in evidence the evidentiary case file in this case, the city's composite exhibit. The floor is yours. Tell me what you'd like me to know.
No questions at all. 30 days, $200 per day. Got it.
Do you believe you can get all this done in 30 days, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In case CE 24052058, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of the listed code sections to give the respondent 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $200 per day may issue. Good luck.
Thank you.
Case number 19, CE 240-72310, case address 937 32nd Street.
All right, good morning. My name is Donald Lattimore, currently employed with the City of West Palm Beach as a code enforcement officer. While on routine patrol, I saw outdoor storage at property located at 937 32nd Street. I initiated my investigation on 7/18/2024. This property is occupied. There, I observed the following violation: 94-71-C, which is the outdoor storage; 94-6, which is restriction upon land use, scrap metaling; and 26-35-B. This is a repeat violation. For the records, the repeat cases include KCE 23100-850 and also KCE 2403-1537 for the repeat violation cases. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice of violation was noticed by certified mail and regular mail on July 22nd, 2024 by the city's clerk. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on August 8th, 2024. An affidavit of posting was completed on August 2nd, the NOV was posted at the property and City Hall on August 2nd, 2024. An affidavit of posting was completed on August 2nd, 2024, and it is in this case file. Please note the notice of violation, posting photos, and affidavit of posting was completed by Code Officer Robert Watkins, who is also present here today. I revisited the property on August 16th, 2024, and observed the property not to be in compliance with all of the following violations: 94-71-C, which is the outdoor storage; 94-6, which is restriction upon land use; and of course the repeat violation, 26-35-B. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property on August 16th, 2024. Code Officer Robert Watkins took the notice of violation posting and the pre-hearing photos that are also within the case file. The following photographs show the violations still exist on the property. These photographs accurately and truthfully illustrate the violations Officer Watkins and I observed during the investigation. The property owner is present. I made contact with the property owner on August 5th, 2024, as well as August 15th of 2024. During both conversations with the owner, I explained the violations, how to comply to violations, this hearing, and the city asks for daily fines due to repeat violation. The city is asking for $150 per day, starting from the date the repeat violation was observed, which was July 18th, 2024, until compliance is achieved. Nothing further.
Thank you so much. Nothing further at this time, Magistrate. We're requesting that the case file, as well as the photographs and the code enforcement officer's testimony, be admitted into the record as evidence, barring any objections. Thank you.
Officer, can you walk me through the 94-6? What's the restrictions upon land use issue?
So this is a residential district. The tenant of the property is running a scrap metaling business, and it's scrap metal throughout, different parts throughout the property, where she's illegally using the land to obtain the metal from different parts, and she's keeping that stored on property.
So it's a commercial business in a residential zone, essentially?
Correct.
Okay. Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Yes, Mohammed Mamun.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Mohammed Mamun. Mohammed Mamun.
I don't really understand. Do you understand?
Mohammed Mamun.
Yes. Muhammad Moon, if you go to my internal notes, if you click in internal notes, the correct name spelling is inside the internal notes. But Muhammad Moon,
Yes.
Mr. Moon, what is your position with MSNO Properties LLC?
I'm the owner.
Sir, do you have any objections to the documents and photographs that the city would like to put in evidence?
No.
Without objection, I'll accept in evidence the evidentiary case file in this case, the city's composite exhibit. All right, Mr. Moon, the city says that you're violating the city code.
Can I say something?
Yes, please do.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that. And actually, last 1 year, I've been trying to work with her to move her out. And I have couple of notices here, which I gave it to Mr. Donor, that I already given her notice last year to move out. And she's supposed to move out. She promised me to move out by first quarter of
All right,
this
wait,
year.
slow down one second. This is a rental property and the tenant's the one operating this business?
that is correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been trying almost in a year, and I have all the notices here that to let her move out because she's continuously giving problem. And so she's supposed to move out by first quarter of this year, which apparently she did not. And then March of 2024, we got another violation. So that time I met with her, and she told me give a few more months, so she's gonna move out. But I told her at the same time that if there's another violation, then you have to I'm gonna give you 30 days notice to move out, which happened again. So we got a citation from on, I think, July 18th. So I gave her a 30 days notice to move out. And so she's trying to move out. That's why you must see some of the stuff is in the front, because everything was in the behind before. Now in the backyard, now she's putting everything in the front, so she's moving things out. So she agreed to move out, but the way it's going, I think I'm gonna need some time. So what I want actually, I want a permanent solution for this city, for the city and for myself also. So I think if you give me some time, like at least 60 to 90 days, that we able to, if she doesn't move out, I'm gonna go through the eviction process. I already told her. So I think if you give me like 60 days time, or maybe 90 days, that will help me to permanently solve the problem, because she's paying me half of the rent, which is current market rent, but because of humanitarian issue, I let her stay there. But at this point, I told her, I made my position clear that she cannot stay there anymore.
Hold on one second, Mr. Moon. What's the city's position on the request?
So the items that are being stored in the front, they're not coming from the backyard. She constantly collects more and more items. Now, in the sense of moving, things are being shifted around. As far as the extension of the time, to my knowledge, the tenant is supposed to be out of the property by the end of this month, but it still lies the question of the repeat violation. I have tried to explain that the repeat violation that we're asking for, the city stance is asking for, is a daily fine per day until the compliance is achieved. As the property owner said, this is something that's been going on since the beginning of the year. This is the third time this property has been cited for outside storage in the last 10 months. And the complaints have made it all the way up to the mayor's office as well. So the 90-day extension, there is a lot of stuff that needs to be removed off the property, but I try to explain to the property owner that the city ask is still a daily fine. So if it takes 90 days, then that's a daily fine running 90 additional days. As far as the additional time frame for 90 days, the city is fine with that because there is a lot of items that need to be removed. But the repeat violation daily fine of $150 is still the city ask until compliance is achieved.
So
Magistrate,
the city is not in favor of giving them additional days without a fine?
no.
No.
Okay.
We're not.
I just want to be clear about what the city's position is. Okay.
Sorry, thank you.
Mr. Moan, I'll give you the last word.
Yes, I know it's my responsibility as the owner of the property, and honestly, I've been trying my best. And just March of last year, I paid about $1,250 fine. So I request that if the city can consider it and give me some chance to rectify without imposing any further fine. So honestly, I mean, it does not benefit to me anything to let her stay there, but I've been just trying to work with her, and that's like she took the advantage, and so she's just taking the full advantage out of me. So if I have to go through the eviction, I do this time, because it's a headache for me, and the property is becoming nuisance every day.
All right, well, I'm generally in agreement with the city here. I'm going to assess the fine. However, look, bring the property into compliance, and there's a mechanism here where you can come back and ask for a reduction of that fine. But right now, the most important thing is this has to be cleaned up. It's been going on for a long time at this point.
Yes, I understand that.
In CE 24072310, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of the listed code sections. Issue a $150 fine beginning on July 18th and continuing until the property comes into compliance. Good luck, sir. I hope you're able to get this cleaned up.
So can I ask, so it's a $150 fine from the July 18th
Until it's complied.
so, and you said after once the property is compliant, then I can come to the city and
Yeah,
ask for
the
reduction?
officer can explain to you the mechanism where you can ask for a reduction.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 3, CE 240-62163, case address 216 Second Way.
What number was that? What number did you say? 2? 3.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On rental inspection of 216 Second Way on June 17th, I observed the master bathroom with work done without proper permits. I then cited the property for work without permits. Rental license violations 22-441. Certificate of use 22-32-A, and work without permits 105-1. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted August 6th. Certified mail was sent June 18th. Certified mail was signed for August 17th. I have been in contact with the property owner. They have since applied for the permit that's required on August 7th. It's still going through the process as of this morning. With that being said, City's recommending 90 days to obtain the permit that will bring the property into compliance, or $200 a day until compliance is achieved.
Good morning.
Morning.
And you believe 90 days is a reasonable time, given the permit was filed, 2 weeks ago, is a reasonable time?
Yes, it should be enough. It's an after-the-fact permit, so they don't have to dig up anything or prepare anything, so.
Okay. And you were able to speak with the property owner?
Yes,
And they're
she's here today.
present? And they're okay with the 90 days?
Yes,
And the photographs, did you take the photographs that we're observing?
yes, ma'am.
And the photographs truthfully and accurately depict the work that was done without permit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking that the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, as well as the photographs be admitted as evidence into the record, barring any objections from the property owner.
Which code sections are still at issue at this time?
The rental license violation, the certificate of use, and the work done without prior permits.
So all 3 sections
Yes,
listed?
they're
Okay.
all outstanding.
Thank you, Officer McFarland. Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Victoria.
Victoria Papillon?
Yeah, Victoria Papillon.
Okay. And you're currently the owner of the property, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any objections to the documents or photographs the city would like to put in evidence?
No.
Without objection, I'll accept in evidence the evidentiary case file in this case, the city's composite exhibit. So the city says you don't have a rental license, certificate of use, or a building permit. Is that accurate?
Well, I was applying for the building
But you are applying for the building permit.
yeah.
Yeah. The city says they want to give you 90 days to accomplish that. Is that a sufficient amount of time to get your certificate of use, business license, and building permit?
Yes, sir. So it'll be 200 from the 90 days, or?
Yeah, it would be a fine of $200 per day for every day you're in violation after 90 days. So you'd have the 90 days to come into compliance.
Okay.
But I will warn you, even though 90 days does seem like a fair amount of
Goes by
time,
fast.
it does go by fast. So you really do have to stay on top of it.
I understand.
All right. In case CE 240626163, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of the listed code sections. Respondent has 90 days to come into compliance, or a fine of up to $200 per day may issue. Good luck, and do stay in touch with the code officer.
Thank you so much.
Case number 17, CE 240-72241, case address 956 30th Street.
17.
You appear to be missing a code officer.
Sorry about that. Just to confirm, this is case number 17, correct?
It is indeed.
All right, good morning again, everyone. My name is Donald Lattimore, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. While on routine patrol, I noticed trash and debris, as well as outside storage at property 956 30th Street. I initiated my investigation on July 3rd, 2024. This property is occupied. There I observed the following violations: 18-106-A, clean and sanitary; 18-106-B, excessive growth; 74-4-C-4, the trees and hedges obstructing the right-of-way; 94-42-E, landscaping of the swell and parkway; 94-71-C, outside storage. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice of violation was noticed by certified mail and regular mail on July 10th, 2024, by the city's clerk. I posted the notice of violation on the property and City Hall on July 10th of 2024. I completed an affidavit of posting on July 10th of 2024, and it is in this case file. I revisited the property on August 12th, 2024, and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections: 18-106-A, 18-106-B, 94-442-E, 94-71-C. I took the photographs at the initial investigation, and when I revisited the property, the following photographs show that the violation still exists on the property. These photographs accurately and truthfully illustrate the violations I observed during my investigation. I have not made contact with the property owner or a property representative. The city is asking for 30 days to comply. If no compliance, a daily fine of $100. Nothing further.
Thank you. Did you mention 74-4C4 and I missed it, maybe? The trees, hedges obstructing the right-of-way?
Yes, just to repeat, all of the violations are still, all of the code sections are still in violation except 74-4-C-4,
Okay.
which is the trees and hedges obstructing the right-of-way.
And,
That one has complied.
okay, thank you. And are you familiar with the individuals that are here?
No, I'm not.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the Code Enforcement Officer's testimony, the case file, and the photographs to be admitted into evidence, barring any objections.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Rosa Rodriguez.
I'm sorry, what was your first name, ma'am?
Rosa?
Rosa Rodriguez?
Yes.
And who do you have with you, Miss Rodriguez?
Sabina Rodriguez, the homeowner.
And who are you to
I'm her daughter.
you're her daughter? Okay. Do either of you have any objections to any of the documents the city would like to put into evidence?
No, sir.
Without objection, I'm going to accept an evidence evidentiary case file, in this case, the city's composite exhibit. So the city says that you have excessive growth, clean and sanitary, outdoor storage, and landscaping issues on the property.
Yes,
So
sir.
what's going on?
We are currently just struggling a little bit, and I am trying to work with her and the rest of our family to clean up the property. We have been making some progress on it, obviously not enough to the city's liking. As for the landscaping issues, I see that we've constantly been getting the same violation for sodding. Unfortunately, we've been spending the funds to have professional landscapers lay sod and lay grass. It just doesn't work. The sod dies, and a couple months after it dies, we get the same violation. I'm not sure what to do about that if the vegetation just won't grow.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can give you advice about landscaping because I have no expertise on it, though. I mean, you are required to have your property in compliance with the city codes. So you might need some expertise on how to design your landscaping in a way that is sustainable and consistent with the code. And there are many experts in the area that could probably help you with that. The city would like to give you 30 days. Is that a sufficient amount of time for you?
We would like to request 60 days.
That's okay with the city.
All right. I'll give you the 60 days, but as I told the person before, even though that's a fair amount of time, seems like a lot of work to do here, so you're going to have to get right on it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. In case CE 24072241, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of the listed code sections. I give the respondent 60 days to come into compliance, or a fine of up to $100 per day shall issue. Please stay in contact with the code officer and let them know your progress, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Case number 2, CE 240-41747, case address 506 Avenida Alegre.
Are we done with cases where people have signed in?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Officer Francis?
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good morning.
J. Francis, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. While patrolling the zone, numerous code violations were observed on 506 Avenida Alegre. This property was cited on 4/4/24. Certified mail and regular mail was sent on 4/5/24. Both the property and City Hall were posted on 8/7/24. An affidavit of posting was completed and placed in the case file. I have been in contact with the property owner via phone calls. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it today. The property was cited for the paint exterior structure, the fence repair, to cut the swale/parkway, landscape maintenance, excessive growth, prohibited trees, and vegetation obstructing the right-of-way. As of this morning, all violations are still pending, which is reflected in my pre-hearing photos that I took. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 120 days for the property to come in compliance. If they do not come into compliance within this time frame, then the city is asking for $200 a day until compliance is achieved.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
What are the most recent photographs taken of the property? Is it the March ones?
This morning.
Okay, this morning?
So it's labeled pre-hearing inspection.
Okay,
scroll down.
and your testimony, along with the photographs, are saying that they're not in compliance with any of these? They're non-compliant
No,
with
ma'am,
any of
still
these? Okay.
pending compliance.
And you spoke with the property owner?
Yes, I spoke with him via phone call.
And do you believe 120 days is a reasonable amount of time?
Yes.
To get this in compliance?
It's been a while, and he's
trying to get permits done to redo the entire fence, which is in bad shape.
Okay, and is the property owner, was he in agreement, to your knowledge, with the 120 days?
Yes,
And you took all the photographs we're viewing here today, correct?
yes, ma'am.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the violations that we're discussing here this
Yes, they
morning?
do.
Okay, great, thank you. Special Magistrate, we're requesting that the code enforcement officer's testimony, the photographs, the case file be admitted into evidence, into the record at this time.
Thank you.
Without objection, I'll accept the evidentiary case file, including the photographs, into evidence, the city's composite exhibit. Let's just walk through, because there's a lot of code sections here. The 7404C4, is that the vegetation that's,
Yes, they have grass growing in on the sidewalk,
okay.
grass
And I
on both
can- yeah.
property and the swale, so it's,
What's the landscape maintenance?
Well,
Well,
there's
is that everything? That's the whole property.
there's a bunch of bay areas to the western side of the property, and there's a ton load of overgrowth.
Yeah, the overgrowth I can see from the photos is all over the property. What are the prohibited trees?
That's the case from before. So they have a few Queensland umbrella on the property. Also, they have Brazilian pepper growing to the west side of the property by the fence line, which is starting to encroach on the cul-de-sac street now. And a few carrot woods in front of the property as well. So they have a number of prohibited trees.
The 18106G, the paint, is that the building on the property needs to be painted or cleaned?
Yeah, you could paint or pressure wash. He said he preferred to paint it because it's easier for him, I guess. But there's some substance buildup on the structure at the front of the house and then by the fascia boards.
What's the issue with the fence?
It's broken in multiple places. He's using ply to kind of hold it up, and then he has some pallets he used to hold it up as well.
The swales, is that's that area right there, which
Yes,
yeah,
that's overgrowth
and missing sod.
yeah. So the sand is being washed on the sidewalk and into the street now.
Is the 18106K different from the 944462, the landscape maintenance?
Yes, it is. Go ahead. That's the initial. Yeah, in the initial, there's a ton load of overgrowth all over the property. It should say initial on there. Yes. Oh, you gotta scroll down. It's one of the first ones. Yes. So that's the initial with that's the prohibited trees. See the vegetation growing into the sidewalk.
Okay. And 94453B?
That's one of the codes we have to cite to remove the prohibited trees. We have to cite 3 codes now to ensure the removal of prohibited trees on private property.
Okay. And you believe 120 days is a reasonable amount of time to get this work done?
Yes, I think the fence permit might be the most difficult thing. Everything else should be done within 120 days.
You communicated this deadline to the respondent, and they were in agreement with it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In CE 240411747, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of the listed code sections. I adopt by reference the testimony of the code officer as to the nature of those violations. Hereby give the respondent 120 days to bring the property in compliance or a fine of up to $200 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Case number 4, CE 24051-981, case address 730 55th Street.
Code Officer Robert Watkins. While on patrol, this property was cited on May the 15th. Certified mail was sent May the 15th. Certified mail was sent May the 15th. Certified mail was received undelivered on May the 20th. City Hall was posted on May the 15th. While on patrol, I observed garbage can placement, excessive growth, bare areas in the swell, bare areas in the yard that need to be sodded, and outdoor storage. As of yesterday, none of the violations had come into compliance. And just to revisit, the violation codes are for garbage can placement, 74-34A-1-H, and excessive growth is 74-4-C-3. Sodding of the swell is 78-94-C. Sodding of the yard is 94-442C-1. And the outdoor storage is 94-71-C. And like I stated, as of yesterday, all the violations were still in compliance. I've had no correspondence with the homeowner or anyone.
Are not in compliance.
Not.
Not in compliance, okay.
I've had no correspondence with anyone that owns the property or manages it. I took all the photos accurate depict what I saw while I was there. As of today, the city is requesting additional 20 days at $100 per day after.
Okay, great, thank you. And you believe the 20 days is a reasonable time to bring this in compliance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you stated you did not speak with anyone
Oh,
regarding
no
the
one.
property?
I haven't spoken with anyone there.
Correct. Thank you. At this time, Special Magistrate, we're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, as well as the photographs to be admitted into evidence as the record.
Without objection, I'll accept the evidentiary case file in case the city's composite exhibit. So the swales and parkways, is that the sodding on the swale that we were seeing?
Yes, sir. There's bare areas as if it was being driven over for parking. We can see there's areas where there's absolutely there's just dead vegetation that's providing the ground coverage, what it looks like. After it rains, it just washes out into the street, and then it's just bare again.
The 94-442C1 is also, I guess that's the sodding on the main property, right?
Yeah, yes. In the pictures you can see, as you scroll down, you'll see there's big cutout areas where there's, well, even there, she can go to the next, yeah, you can keep going through the picture. Yeah, that area is just areas where there's no sod anymore. Like I said, I can't say for certain if there's driving over the swell to park there, from what it looks like to me, possibly, but.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Either way, there's no sod
There's
there.
nothing there.
What's the outdoor storage? Is that
Right
stuff
there.
piled on the, okay.
Yep.
All right. The overgrowth looks like it's that green area that looks like it hasn't been mowed.
Yeah, just right there by the fence line and back by the gate, it's just growing up all over the fence.
And the trash can was up against the house?
Yeah, several of them. You have your choice to pick the ones that are up front.
All right. In abundance of caution, I'm just going to give them 30 days just because of the timing of when these things go out. In CE 24051981, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of listed code sections. I adopt by reference the testimony of the code officers to the nature of those violations. Give the respondent 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Case number 5, CE 240-72295, case address 703 Avon Road.
Good morning, Officer Underwood, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement.
Morning.
The violations in this property were noticed while on routine patrol of my assigned area. Property in question is 703 Avon Road. The property was initially cited July 17th, 2024. Certified mail was sent out on July 17th, and both City Hall and the property were posted July 18th. Certified mail was returned July 22nd. I have been in contact with the property owners and the maintenance person for the property, and the property was cited for 94-442-E, which is landscaping of the swale and parkway. The city is requesting 60 additional days to come into compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved. As I said, I've been in close contact with the property owner and the maintenance person to remove all the stone and add sod or approved plant material to the parkway. And they have started working on it, and they just need some more time to complete it.
Okay, great. And they're in agreement with the 60 days?
Correct.
And you believe it's reasonable, it's a
Yes,
reasonable amount
yeah.
of time?
The maintenance man says he only needs 30, but the city will give him extra time just to make sure it's done correctly, so
Okay.
60 days would be fine.
Awesome. And you took the photographs we're seeing today?
That's correct.
And they
That's the-
truthfully-
That's as you can see, the 20th. He started removing all the stone and getting ready to take all the stone out, take all the bushes and stuff that were there, and he's gonna replace it with approved material.
Okay, cool. And the photographs truthfully and accurately depict the the violation we're discussing today?
Yes, they do.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. At this time, Special Magistrate, we're asking for you to admit into evidence the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, as well as the photographs, barring any objections. Thank you.
Without objection, I'll accept an evidence, the evidentiary case file in this case, the city's composite exhibit. So they had a bunch of stones there, and they're going to replace it with approved material under the code.
Correct.
All right. KCE 24072295, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 94442E. I adopt by reference the testimony of the code officer as to the nature of that violation. I give the respondent 60 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 7, CE 240-62173, case address 936 39th Street.
Good morning again. Code Officer Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While riding through my zone, I observed several violations at 936 39th Street. I took photos of the property which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I then initiated my investigation citing the following violations. The property was cited for 74-34-C-3, overgrowth and trimming of the trees, etc. 94-302-A-4, fence and wall maintenance. 18-106A, clean and sanitary. 18-106B, excessive growth. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on July the 10th of 2024. The affidavit of posting was completed on July the 10th of 24, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on June the 24th of 2024. Certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on August the 20th of 2024 and observed the property still in violations of all the codes cited. Reinspection photos were taken on August the 20th showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case. I have not had any contact with the property owner. The city is requesting an additional 30 days to gain compliance or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Great, thank you so much. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the photographs, and the case file to be admitted into evidence, to the record. Thank you.
Without objection, accept an evidence, the evidentiary case file, including the photographs and evidence, the city's composite exhibit. So all the code sections are still at issue?
Yes, sir.
The clean and sanitary, is that the...
That's the sidewalks, that's all the trash and debris and stuff throughout the swell and property area. The grass is steadily growing, almost, it's about to my knees or a little higher now, but it's continuing to grow and I've had no contact. The posting that I put there is still out there as of yesterday. So I don't know what's going on. Generally this owner, because it's 2 properties, generally this owner would have it maintained, at least cut. So I don't know what's going on, but it's just getting to be very overgrown.
It's looking like a jungle, huh?
Yes, sir.
The fence?
He has some growth there and it's growing and bulging the fence out into the property adjacent next to it. So that needs to be repaired. He may have to do some cutting back of the shrubbery or trees that he has there to enable the fence to be repaired.
And I guess I can see the excessive growth.
Yes, sir.
The 30 days, do you think that's a sufficient amount of time to accomplish this?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you said you had no contact with the owner?
No, sir.
In case CE 24062-173, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of listed code sections. I adopt by reference to testimony of the code officers to the nature of those violations. I give the respondent 30 days to come to compliance or a fine of $100 per day. May I issue?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 8 CE 240-82403, case address 220 Plymouth Road is rescheduled. Case number 9 CE 240-72277, case address 5308 Garden Avenue is rescheduled. Case number 10 CE 240-62093, case address 457 Northwood Road.
Hi, Mark Joyce, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Manager.
Mark,
All of Jesus's
do you
cases.
mind coming to the podium so we just have it, please?
Unfortunately, we had a medical emergency this morning with Jesus, so all of his cases are going to be rescheduled. Yeah.
Special Magistrate, would you like us to still put it on the record? The cases 10 through, all of his cases, I think 10 through 14?
Yeah, we probably should put them on the record. So cases 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 10 through 14. All right, those are hereby rescheduled at the discretion of the city. Those will be renoticed?
Mark?
Yeah, all right. Rescheduled and renoticed. Okay.
Case number 15 CE 240-72314, case address 949 34th Street.
All right, good morning. Donald Lattimore, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. While on routine patrol, I saw a property with overgrown grass and trash container in public view. At the property located at 949 34th Street, I initiated my investigation on July 18th, 2024. This property is occupied. There I observed the following violations: 18-106-K, landscape maintenance, 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view, 78-94-C, the swelling parkways needing landscape maintenance. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice of violation was noticed by certified mail and regular mail on July 23rd, 2024 by the city's clerk. I posted the notice of violation at the property and City Hall on July 25th, 2024. I completed the affidavit of posting on July 25th, 2024, and it is in this case file. I revisited the property on August 12th, 2024, and August 16th of 2024. During both visits, I observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections: 18-106-K, the landscape maintenance, and 78-94-C, the swelling parkway landscape maintenance. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. The following photographs show the violations still exist on the property. These photographs accurately and truthfully represent the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, but I made contact with her on August 9th, 2024 and August 16th, 2024 at the property. While meeting with the property owner on August 9th, 2024, I explained the code violations, how to comply them, and this hearing date. On August 16th, 2024, the owner and I discussed the violations that were not complied, how to comply them, and the next steps, including this hearing. The city is asking for 30 days to comply. If no compliance, a daily fine of $50 until compliance is achieved. Nothing further from the city.
Thank you so much. We're requesting that the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, as well as the photographs be admitted as evidence into the record, please.
Without objection, I'll accept and evidence the abstract case file in this case, including the photographs as composite exhibit, city's composite exhibit. The code sections at issue is 7894C, 18106K, and And what about the trash can in public view, 7434A1H?
That one has complied. She moved the trash can out of public view.
Okay, so it's just the swales and the landscaping?
Yes, and she has a better understanding of what she needs to do now.
Can you explain to me what the violations are in those two sections?
Sure. For the landscape maintenance, there's grass that's growing over the sidewalk. The grass is still a little high in certain places that exceeds the maximum height of 6 inches. In the parkway as well, there's grass that's growing on the sidewalk that needs to be edged. And around the trees as well, there was grass that was still growing pretty high. When I went out on the 12th, I noticed that she just needs to edge the landscape and cut the grass down a little more. And then by the time I went out on the 16th, that's when her and we met in person, and she realized that her grass grows really fast and she needs to take care of it, as far as making it look neat and healthy.
Okay. So she understands what she needs to do?
Yes, she does, yeah.
Okay. In case CE 2407231 make the following findings of fact and live phone notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 7894C and 18106K. Adopt by reference the testimony of the code officer as to the nature of those violations. I give the respondent 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day may issue.
Case number 16, CE 2407222, case address 806 30th Street.
All right, good morning again. Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. While on routine patrol, I observed the trash bags and trash container in front of the property identified as 806 30th Street. I initiated my investigation on July 3rd, 2024. This property is vacant. There I observed the following violations: 18-106-A, clean and sanitary; 18-106-K, landscape maintenance; 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view; 74-4-C-4, trees and hedges obstructing the right-of-way; 78-94-C, the swelling parkway needed maintenance; and 94-44-2-E, which is the landscaping of the swelling parkway. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and this hearing date. The notice of violation was noticed by certified mail and regular mail on July 9th, 2024 by the city's clerk. I posted the notice of violation at the property and city hall on July 10th of 2024. I also completed an affidavit of posting on July 10th, and it is in the case file. I revisited the property on April 16th, 2024, and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following two code sections: 78-94-C, that's the swell and parkway, and 18-106-K, the landscape maintenance. I took the photos at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. The following photographs show the violations still exist on the property. These photographs accurately and truthfully show the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner, Christy, is not present, but I made contact with her on August 1st, 2024 via phone. During our conversation, I explained the violations, how to comply them, this hearing, and the next steps. The owner expressed that she may need additional time during our conversation due to traveling out of the country. I advised if compliance not achieved by the due date, I will ask for additional time. So with that being said, the city is asking for an additional 60 days, 60, to comply. If no compliance, a daily fine of $100. Nothing further.
Okay, thank you so much. And you believe 60 days is a reasonable time?
Yes, if she gets to working on the landscape, especially, a property may need to be completely resodded. But I believe 60 days is enough time if she starts to work on the property, yes.
And you communicated that to her, correct?
I told her that I would give her some extra time. She's been traveling, so we haven't made contact since August 1st. So I have not communicated the 60 days to comply. No, I have not.
Okay. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, the photographs be admitted as evidence into the record.
Without objection, I'll accept into evidence the extra case file in this case, including the photographs and evidence of the city's composite exhibit. So there's two code sections at issue, 18106A and 7894C.
Yes.
Can you describe the conditions on the property that constitute the violations in those cases?
Yes. Let's start with the landscape maintenance. If you look at the photos for the landscape maintenance, and I also expressed this to her as well, there's a lot of gravel, bricks, leftover remains, widespread areas of the landscape behind the fence itself that's missing sod and grass that needs to be completely resodded. There's also bushes that's growing around the back area of the property that needs to be cut, trimmed, so it can be in a nice, neat, healthy appearance. In the front right of the property, that's at the corner of 30th Street and Greenwood Avenue, there was a flower bed there that has been completely cut, but all of the dead vegetation still remains, which does not reflect the neat and healthy appearance of the landscape as well. In particular, in the swell areas, the grass and the dead vegetation, the dead fronds from the palm trees are still scattered throughout the swell area. The front of the,
This is 18106K?
Yes, this is, that was 18106K primarily deals with behind the fence. Moving now to 78-94-C, which is the parkway in this case that needs the landscape maintenance. Along the parkway on 30th Street, the owner has placed down sod and filled a lot of those areas, so the sod will improve that area. But along Greenwood Avenue, this is a corner parcel. Along Greenwood Avenue, that swell area still needs attention. There are dead fronds from the palm trees that are in the swell area. There are some areas where the grass is exceeding the maximum height of 6 inches. And then there's also areas of the swell that can utilize seeding and or sod. And those are the two violations that are remaining.
And you believe 60 days is a reasonable amount of time to bring this into compliance?
If the property owner started immediately, 60 days should be enough time to comply. But Special Magistrate, if you would like to move that up to 90 days, I have no problem with that. The city have no problem with that. It does appear that the entire property will need to be resodded in my.
It does appear to be a fair amount of work, so why don't we just...
Correct. Yes, I agree.
Why don't we make it 90, just so we don't force this into violation? All right, in case CE 240722222, I make the following findings of fact on live fine notices if sufficient. Find the property in violation of 7894C and 18106K. I adopt by reference the testimony of the code officer as to the nature of those violations. I order the respondent to come into compliance within 90 days or a fine of $100 per day measure.
Case number 18, CE 240722270, case address 3219 Windsor Avenue.
All right. Good morning again, everyone. Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. While on patrol, I saw an overgrown grass at the property located at 3219 Windsor Avenue. I initiated my investigation on July 3rd, 2024. This property is vacant. There I observed the following violations: 18-106-B, excessive growth, 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view, 78-6, missing address characters, 78-94-C, excessive growth in the parkway area. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice of violation was noticed by certified mail and regular mail on July 12th, 2024 by the city's clerk. I posted the notice of violation on the property and City Hall on July 12th, 2024. I also completed an affidavit of posting on July 12th, 2024, and it is in the case file. I revisited the property on August 16th, 2024, and observed the property not to be in compliance with all of the violations mentioned previously. I took the photographs at the initial investigation, and when I revisited the property, The following photographs show the violations still exist on the property, and these photographs accurately and truthfully represent the violations I observed during my investigation. I have not made contact with the property owner or a representative. I was not made aware of anyone attending this hearing as well. The city is asking for 30 days to comply. If no compliance, a daily fine of $100. Nothing further.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the Code Enforcement Officer's testimony, the case file, and the photographs to be admitted into evidence for the record.
No objection, accept the evidence of the case file in this case, including the photographs and evidence to file exhibit. The 4 code sections cited, those are still all at issue?
Yes, that is correct.
Even the trash can?
Yes, the trash cans are to the right of the property.
Tell me about the growth in the swales and the excessive brick.
Sure. That's what originally started this investigation. The grass is just continuing to grow in the swell area, in the parkway area, as well as on the property. I'm slowly starting to notice that individuals are feeling comfortable to throw trash in the grass that is growing as well. As far as the address characters, it looks like the property was recently painted, but there are no address characters on the structure. And the trash can in public view, I think there's photos, there it is. There are photos showing that they are to the right.
Excuse me, Magistrate, I think there's something with your audio.
Oh, sorry. And you believe 30 days is a sufficient amount of time to bring this into compliance?
I believe that it's enough time, but still no contact from the property owner. But yes, I believe 30 days is enough time to comply.
Basically, they have to cut the grass in the swale and along the property, remove the trash can, and put up some numbers.
You got it. I also was paying attention to the trash cans, and I have noticed that they have not moved since my initial investigation and the revisiting the property as well. So it appears that no one is keeping up with maintaining this parcel.
All right, in CE 24072270, I make the following findings of fact on life. I notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of the listed code sections. Hereby adopt by reference to testimony of the code officer as to the nature of those violations. I give the respondent 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day, Measure.
Case number 20, CE 240-72308, case address 2022 North Dixie Highway.
All right. So Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. I was contacted via email regarding an overgrown vacant lot. I initiated my investigation on July 10th, 2024 at the property located at 2022 North Dixie Highway. This property is a vacant lot. There I observed the following violation: 18-106-B, excessive growth; 18-106-K, landscape maintenance. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on July 19th, 2024 by the city's clerk. I posted a notice of violation at the property and city hall on July 23rd, 2024. I also completed an affidavit of posting on July 23rd, 2024, and it is in the case file. The property ownership is listed under a LLC. I made contact with Kathy, an authorized representative for the LLC, via phone on August 1st, 2024. During the conversation, I explained the violations, how to comply them. I also informed Kathy of this hearing and the next step if a compliance was not achieved by the due date. I revisit the property on August 16th, 2024, and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code section: 18-106-B, excessive growth; 18-106-K, landscape maintenance. A pre-hearing inspection was completed on August 20th, 2024. During this inspection, the code violation 18-106-B was observed to be in compliance. That is the excessive growth. The property was cut. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisit the property. The following photographs show that the violations still exist on the property, which is the 18-106-K landscape maintenance. The photographs accurately and truthfully illustrate the violations I observed during my investigation. The city is asking for a finding of fact for violation 18-106-B and 30 days to comply violation 18-106-K. If no compliance for the 18-106-K, the city is asking for $100 per day until a compliance is achieved. Nothing further.
Thank you. Nothing further from the city. We're requesting that the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, and photographs be admitted into evidence for the record.
Without objection, I'll accept an evidence that evidence case file in this case, including the photographs of the city's composite exhibit. So the 18106K that is still out of compliance, is that the non-sodded area in the front?
No, so I put this one under landscape maintenance for two reasons. This has been a vacant lot the landscape has not been maintained for quite some time. The maintaining the lot includes making sure that the grass is cut regularly and also the trash and debris that's scattered across the landscape, the landscape itself.
So when they cut it, what didn't they do that would have brought it into compliance?
So when they cut the property, some of the trash and debris, they just piled it up in one pile and placed it in front of the property, And then there's also trash and debris that was, some trash and debris that was left on the property. And that's illustrated in the photos that I took on August 20th, 2024, the pre-hearing photographs.
So compliance with 18106K is just removing the garbage on the property or that's in the landscaping?
Yes, for this particular case, they need to clean the property by removing the trash and debris, correct.
All right, in case CE 2407238, I make the following findings of fact and law. Find notice is insufficient. I found the property having been in violation of 18106B, but has since come into compliance, but after the required compliance date. I find the property in violation of 18106K, specifically trash is part of the landscaping that needs to be removed to bring the landscaping into compliance. I give the respondent 30 days to bring it in compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue. I think that's it, right? I think this might be a record for us. Yes, we do. All right, I'm going to adjourn until the 11:30 other matters agenda. Is the city ready? Is the city ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
All right, I hereby call us back into order. This is the code enforcement for the city of West Palm Beach. This is the schedule for the other matters agenda. Cases are going to be heard in the order in which they appear on the agenda. Cases where somebody has appeared will be called before ones where no one has been appeared. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, which means the formal rules of evidence do not apply here. However, all testimony is taken under oath under penalty of perjury. So if you're going to testify today, or you think you're going to testify, or there's a possibility that you might testify, I'm going to ask that you rise and raise your right hand so you can be sworn in. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Florida?
Yes.
All right, once you hear your case heard, go ahead and proceed to the podium directly on my right-hand side. The city will introduce the case, then you'll have the opportunity to present your side of this case, since this is an other matters agenda, which typically is cases where someone is asking for a reduction of fine. You need to tell me a couple of things. One, you need to tell me what you're asking me for specifically, and give me the justification or the reasons why I should grant that to you. Making sure that they're based in the city code requirements is also kind of helpful. All right, the city can call the first case.
Case number 21 CE 220-10398. Case address 3700 Australian Court.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The case address at 3700 Australian Court was originally cited in January 27th of 2022. They were cited for a boat that needed to be screened, obstruction of the city's right-of-way, work done without a permit, an operative vehicle parked at the property, rental tax or business license and certificate of use that needed to be obtained. This went to a special magistrate hearing March 2nd, 2022. It was ordered for the fine to start running as of May 2nd, 2022. And this ran for 407 days at $100 a day for a total of $40,700 and was complied June 13th, 2023. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting. As this is the same owner that's here before us today, they've had 3 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. So the city requests a reduction to 25% of the lien, which would be a total of $10,175.
Thank you, sir. Can you gentlemen tell me your names, please?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Armin Sarkeesian.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. My name is Andrew Tran.
Andrew Tran.
Mr. Tran is the owner of the property?
Correct.
And what is your relationship to the property, Mr. Sarkeesian?
I'm actually the architectural designer that helped him obtain the permits. He consulted me on June 12th. That was when my first, June 12th, 2023 was my first site visit. And then I've been working with Andrew Tran to put together as-built architectural engineering drawings to permit the work that was done without permits.
So what are you asking me for, and why should I grant it to you?
Okay, so Andrew Tran, I believe he's asking for to be able to reduce the lien down to the 10%. So essentially, like this gentleman said, the initial notice of violation was given to Andrew on January 28th of 2022. So about a year span had gone before Andrew sort of was aware that he had to take some sort of action in order to remove the violation off of his property. And the way he became aware was when he was trying to refinance his property. I believe it was on May of 2023. The title company found out that there was a lien against his property from the city of West Palm due to the violation, and that's what alerted Andrew to take action and consulted me to be able to remedy the issue and try to get that resolved.
Why was he unaware?
So essentially, I think the whole process is, if I'm not mistaken, you guys send out a letter in the mail, that indicates that there was an issue, there was work done without permit, or there was a boat that was obstructing the view.
Typically, they send a certified letter and they also post the property.
And they posted on the property, correct? I believe the violation had a few issues here. One of them was an inoperative vehicle. There was like a boat that was parked on the property that was obstructing views. Andrew mentioned that that boat was there for one day and it was gone. And then some of the other things, I'm not exactly sure. I think he was just, the information was lost in translation. Didn't understand what he had to do, so he just kind of thought the best thing to do is just kind of ignore it until he realized.
That is rarely the best thing to do.
Until he realized it was actually affecting him when he went to refinance his property, and he was unable to do it until he removed the lien off the property. And we took immediate action starting June 12, 2023. We put together plans to obtain 3 different permits. One was for the site wall that was part of the violation issue. That he also did a few other things that was done without permits, for example, the pavers in the backyard, as well as the fence. And we were able to obtain all those permits back in the end of 2023, in December 28th and December 6th. We obtained those 3 permits, and we scheduled the inspections and passed all the inspections and obtained the certificate of occupancy for the site work for the pavers on January 4th, 2024, and on January 8th we obtained the I'm sorry, not January 8th. January 16th, we obtained the certificate of occupancy approval for the site wall work that was done. And then on May 30th, 2024, we obtained the certificate of occupancy, or passed the inspection for the fence. But I believe the fee stopped accumulating in June of 2023 when he first started to consult with someone to obtain these permits and address the violation. So I think that I'm not exactly sure what happened before that, but he as soon as he found out that there was an issue with the city, he was really adamant about us getting his issues resolved right away, getting the permits. He doesn't want a problem with the city. The whole process is very new to him. Doesn't really understand how this whole thing works, but he's definitely learning the hard way. But I think he's, he really just wants to make things right with the city.
Well, it looks like the city made a pretty decent offer. They offered to reduce it from 40,000 to 10,000.
And that is a very decent offer. It's just that money is kind of like life-changing money. If the city is able to reduce it just maybe to 10%, in good faith, he understands that he did make a mistake not addressing that issue. He won't make that mistake again. Any work that he does to his property is going to go through the permitting channels, proper channels. That way he doesn't have to stand here again in the future to reduce lien fines.
So the respondent has asked for 10%, so if I did my math, that'd be 4,070. What's the city's response to that?
Well, we were counter with that magistrate to 15%, which would be 6,105. will be our best and final offer.
That seems pretty reasonable to me.
15%? Is 15% okay?
Nobody surprised.
What's the difference so it went from 10,000 to
6,105.
Andrew,
Just so that I'm know how to design some, yeah. You can get for family 10%.
Because Andrew did pay a lot of money for the permit fees and the plan reviews.
I appreciate that, but he walked in here with a $40,000 lien, and the city's offered to reduce it to 6. That seems reasonable to me.
Is 6,000 okay?
Don't know why.
I can give you time to pay it. How much time do you need?
Isn't it already paid, or
Is that okay?
is 6,000 okay? Loan?
Oh my
Loan
God,
is the lovely
sorry.
wife of Andrew's.
Yeah. Because we not good English, so when something we don't understand too much.
Good afternoon.
So,
Because we very...
Ma'am, if you're going to testify, you're going to have to come up and give me your name. Have you been sworn in?
Good afternoon. My name is Lon Nguyen. I'm the owner of this property. We have so many happen right now. The money is hard for us. That's why can you do for me 10%?
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll reduce it to 5,000, but that's the best I'm going to do considering how long this went on.
Yeah,
5,000 they'll accept.
Yeah.
All right, and how much time do you need?
How much time do you need to pay?
Because right now
Before when we
Did you guys already pay?
refinance my house, they keep my money. Maybe they need to pay for you.
From
They
a
keep
title
my money
company.
from the title company. They keep the money.
Okay, so what?
60 days?
60 days.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
60
All right.
days.
All right, I'll reduce this from $40,700 to $5,000 payable within 60 days. If it's not paid within that 60 days, it does return to the original amount, which is $40,700. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so
guys.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So Magistrate, the respondents for agenda items 22 and 23 did not show up, so we're going to have to reschedule those.
Okay, then. Seeing no further business before us, this meeting is hereby adjourned.